in this example, you divide this first expression by this second expression. Now this first expression has 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. This second expression has only 1 term. There's no plus sign or minus sign after that. So to translate this, divide the top by the bottom, or numerator by the denominator. So I'm rewriting this as the first expression goes on top, divide by, division bar, the second expression as the denominator. To divide this one fraction, we will divide each term of the numerator by the denominator. So I'm going to take this, divide by this, one fraction. Take the second term, divide by the denominator, second fraction. Take the third term, divide by the denominator. We have the third terms. So let's divide. So we have equal sign. The top, 8, x to the 4th, y to the 5th. Divide by the denominator, x squared, y to the 3rd power. Subtracts, because the second term is a negative term, so make sure you have the sign is the same as the sign of the second term. So minus 3x to the 3rd power, y to the 4th, divide by the denominator, x squared, y to the 3rd, and then the last term has positive sign, so the sign is the same as positive, 5x squared, y to the 3rd power, divide by the denominator, x squared, y to the 3rd power. Okay? Now simplify. When we simplify the coefficients or divide the variable, same variable together. So the coefficient a on top, at the bottom you do not see it, but it means it's 1 here, because 1 times x squared times y to the 3rd is itself, which is x squared times y to the 3rd power. So I can actually rewrite at 1 here. You want to see it. So the coefficient of this denominator is 1. Okay? So 8 divided by 1 is 8. Okay? Now for the variable x divided by x, now to divide this variable, make sure you divide same variable together. So x, same base on top. When you divide, you take the top power 4, subtract the bottom power 2 of x. Alright, this is how you simplify the variable x. For the variable y, similarly, you divide y together. You take the top power 5 minus the bottom power 3. Okay? So this is how you simplify for the first fraction. For the second fraction, so the sign is the same. So subtracts go here. Again, there is the coefficient 1 here. 3 divided by 1 is 3. And when you simplify the x, the top power 3 subtracts the bottom power 2 for x. Now for y, when you simplify it similarly, you take the top power 4 for y, subtract the bottom power 3 for y. Okay, so this is how we simplify the second fraction. For the third fraction, now the sign is positive, so we maintain the same sign as plus. Coefficient 5 divided by is not there, but actually the coefficient of the denominator is 1. So 5 divided by 1 is 5. Simplify x. When you divide x squared divided by x squared, you actually got 1. Okay? Or this is how you can see it. You take the top 2, subtracts 2 the bottom, And similarly for the y, you take the top 3 right here minus the bottom 3. Okay? Now simplify, we have 8x, 4 minus 2 is 2. For the y, 5 minus 3 is 2. And then minus 3x, 3 minus 2 is 1. Y, 4 minus 3 is 1. Plus 5 go here. X, 2 minus 2 is 0. Y, 3 minus 3 is 0. Okay? Now let's simplify as much as we can. So there's no plus or minus for the exponent. So you know ax squared is, ax squared times y squared is still ax squared times y squared. Now for this, we do not leave the power of anything as 1. So we simplify x to the first as x, and similar for y. Okay? So x to the first is x, y to the first is y. We do not leave the answer with 1 as the exponent, so make sure you simplify it as x, y. Now for the last term, plus 5, x to the 0 is 1. Now this is by definition. Okay, by definition, x to anything that has the power 0 is equal to 1. And similarly, anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. This is by definition, and you learned this before. So x to the 0 is 1 times y to 0 is 1. Okay? Now let's simplify anything else. We know that 5 times 1 times 1 is 5, so let's simplify that too. Rewriting the first 2 terms. Plus 5 times 1 times 1 is 5. Now remember, make sure you combine like terms if they exist. So let's double check the first term. If there any term that has x and y with the same power 2, check this, none, check this, none. And similarly, you can check the second term to see if there's any term with the variable x and y that has power 1 and 1. Check this with this, no. How about a constant? And you see the first 2 terms are not constant. So you know that these 3 terms, they are not like terms. Since you know that your answer, there's no like term, you know that you're done. You cannot simplify anything further. So this is how you divide this polynomial by this monomial. And the answer is ax squared times y squared minus 3xy plus 5.